Good morning. This is the continuation video for the methods of tunneling in soft ground. So in the last class we have discussed about shield tunneling method. In today's video we'll go through the compressed air method and also we'll learn about the tunnel boring machine. So coming to the introduction of compressed air method. When tunnel is to be made in water bearing strata of soil, then the problem what arises there is a possibility that the water can come out of the excavated part of tunnel along with some fine particles of soil. So when this happens, there is a possibility that the voids in the surrounding soil increases. And if this happens, all of a sudden the soil can fall down, collapse, and this may cause accident. So whenever this kind of tunneling is to be done, the first thing what is to be done is the water flow is to be stopped. Or simply we can say the head which causes this flow is to be counterbalanced. So we can also propose the tunnel cross-sectional area to be stabilized by grouting or some chemicals before we are doing the tunneling. But that process will be little more costlier. So in order to counterbalance the head causing flow, what we do is we supply a compressed air. So since this grouting as well as using of chemicals before the tunneling work is going to be a costlier process, the method of counterbalancing the head which causes the flow with the supply of compressed air is tried. If D is the diameter of a proposed tunnel and head causing flow at center of tunnel is h meter of water, then the head which causes the flow and that acting at the crown and invert respectively is taken as h minus d by 2 and h plus d by 2. So here you can see a figure. Okay. So let us imagine this portion as the tunnel, and if the diameter of tunnel is d and the water, since we are going to construct the tunnel in a water bearing strata, the water flow, the head of flow which can cause is taken as h, exactly the center of tunnel, then it is told that at the crown portion of tunnel, crown portion means the uppermost part, and at invert means the bottom portion of tunnel, the head of water which causes the flow will be h minus d by 2 at the crown portion and h plus d by 2 in the invert portion. Okay. Now, a compressed air equivalent pressure similar to h minus d by 2 at crown and h plus d by 2 at invert cannot be applied, but a constant pressure of h meter of air can be supplied at the center. So what we are actually doing over here, we know that we are going to construct a tunnel in a water bearing strata. So the main problem is water may enter inside and that water entering may be along with some soil particles. What we have to do is we have to stop the water flowing inside the tunnel. So what can be done? So what we are doing over here, our method is we are applying a compressed air opposite to the flow of water from all the sides, from the sides, from the top portion, from the bottom portion. A possibility is that water can enter. So since to avoid the water to enter into the tunnel, what we do is we are applying a compressed air from all sides. But what we have understood over here is the head of water which is causing the flow is different in different sections. In the exact center portion it is h, in the top portion it is h minus d by 2, here it is h plus d by 2. It is not possible that we apply a compressed air of different values. What we can do is we can allow a constant pressure. So just imagine that we are putting a constant pressure, we are applying a constant pressure of h meter of air exactly at the center portion. Okay, now what will happen? When we do that, there is an extra compressed air of d by 2 meter at crown, and at invert it is less than the head causing the flow. So here the value is h minus d by 2. Okay, what do you mean by h minus d by 2? The head causing flow at the crown portion is h minus d by 2. Now when you are applying a compressed air of h, that is sufficient in the center portion. But here only h minus d by 2 is required, and what you are providing is h. That means what? D by 2 meter of water is, or that amount of pressure is excess in this region, and here what you require is h plus d by 2. In order to stop the water flowing inside the tunnel, the pressure what you have to give over here is h plus d by 2. But actually we are giving only h meters of pressure. Okay, so what happens over here? Here an amount of d by 2 is lesser, and here an amount of d by 2 is higher. This develops flow of underground water in the lower half of tunnel, while in the upper half of tunnel, the compressed air pressure, which is greater than head causing groundwater flow, forces the air into the surrounding soil, which drives water from pore of soil up to the distance where it is balanced. So what we are saying now? So exactly the pressure which is to be applied is different in different sections. But that is not possible over here. So what we are giving is an H pressure is given exactly throughout the tunnel region. So here in the center portion it is the exact value. That is how much water can enter, how much head causes the entry of water is being provided in the center portion. But here the head causing flow is h minus d by 2, and what we are providing is h. That means an excess of d by 2 is more over here. An excess is here, and here actual value is h plus d by 2, but what we are giving is only h. That means there is a deficiency of d by 2 meters of compressed air. What we are actually doing here, water is entering, the possibility of water entering is there. So in order to stop that, we are giving a compressed air in the opposite direction. Okay. So because of this, what happens is, since an excess of d by 2 over here is being given, the water molecules along with some soil may go upside. Okay. Since the pressure is being given, here an excess pressure is coming, because actually only h minus d by 2 is required, but an excess of d by 2 meters of pressure is being given. So what will happen? Obviously when you are compressing or when you are giving an air pressure, the soil over here and the water over here is going again inside portion. So here a bulb of dry soil is formed. Okay. Coming to the lower portion, what happens? The exact head which causes the flow of water is what? H plus d by 2. And the pressure what you are giving is only h. Then will it stop the flow of water entering? No. What happens is, since the pressure counterbalancing should happen, here an excess of h plus d by 2 is required, but what we are giving is only h. So deficiency of d by 2 is here. That means water will enter from the inward portion. So in the upper half, a bulb of dry soil is formed, and the lower portion, what happens? Water may enter. If the leakage of compressed air is blocked by some impervious stratum, then the head causing flow and water flows into the tunnel from more area now, and complete tunnel will be full of water again. So what is being said now? You are providing a compressed air opposite to the direction of the water entry. Now if in case by some reason the compressed air is being blocked by some impervious strata, then what will happen? That means the correct amount of compressed air is not going inside the tunnel, which will block the entry of water. Then if it is not given in the right amount, what happens? The head causing flow is not counterbalanced, and then water will again enter, and like that the tunnel will be full of water. Okay. So this can happen. So in order to avoid this situation, a system of draining water from tunnel face must be planned. Okay. So what I have told you just now is the different sections, different head causing flow will be there. What we do is, in the air compressed method, compressed air is being given. So the compressed air what you are giving or what is to be given is different in different places. In some places the air what you are giving is more, and in some places it is in lesser amount. So if it is more in amount, what happens? Then a bulb formation will be there, because the soil as well as the water will go upside. More and more upside it will go, and a bulb of soil will be formed. And if the balancing pressure which is to be given is lesser in amount, what happens? Then the head causing flow is not counterbalanced and water can enter into the tunnel. Now some reasons are also there which may there may be a possibility that the compressed air is getting blocked. If that happens, then proper amount of compressed air is not given to the all portions of tunnel, and water, since it is a water bearing strata, water can enter, and this can again cause accidents. Next, equipment with plenum process of tunneling or compressed air method. Now, what do you mean by the term plenum? Plenum means it is a space that receives air from a blower, or simply what you can say is it is the compressed air method, equipment which is required for the compressed air method. So mainly there are two equipments. One is the bulkhead and next is the airlock. This is a bulkhead and this is the airlock. Bulkhead means it is a solid wall which is constructed across the tunnel section. You know how the tunnel section will be like. Okay, so here in order to separate the tunnel section, a solid wall is there, and one side you will be having a higher pressure region or higher pressure zone, and at the outer region or the outer end you will be having an atmospheric pressure zone. Okay, so basically it is a solid wall. Bulkhead means it is a solid wall which is constructed so as to make two zones, because as you are going deep inside the tunnel, it will be having some high pressure region. Okay, and in the backward portion or in the rear end you will be having atmospheric pressure. So in order to resist the pressure difference, you are providing a wall, and that wall should be sufficiently strong enough so that this pressure difference will be resisted. Now usually the bulkhead is constructed of RCC, that is reinforced cement concrete, or simply cement concrete, or steel or masonry, and if in times of emergency, timber can also be used. So basically bulkhead is a solid wall which is being constructed in the tunnel section so that you can separate the two zones. Now airlock means it is a reserved space constructed in bulkhead for transferring man and material from one zone of pressure to another zone of pressure. You know that at one end or deep inside when you are going into the tunnel, there you will be having higher pressure region, and the backside portion of tunnel from where you have excavated, that region will be a hollow region, and there you will be having an atmospheric pressure. So there are two pressure regions. So in order to transfer man and material from one zone of pressure to another zone of pressure, you require some space, and that reserved space which is constructed in the bulkhead is known as airlock. So usually the space will be cylindrical in shape, like around 2 to 3 meters in diameter, and the length will be around 25 meters. It will be having two doors, both ends, two doors, one at each end, and this opening can be only in forward direction. That is, the door can be opened only in forward direction, not in the backward direction. And one more thing is there, only one door can be opened at a time. That means you are having a wall-like material or wall-like thing which is known as the bulkhead, and inside the bulkhead you are having an airlock. Okay, that airlock you will be having two doors, one at the front portion and other at the rear portion. Okay, now it is not possible that both the door can be opened at the same time. If the pressure in the airlock is atmospheric, that reserved space where people, material all sit or where they are there, in that region if the pressure is atmospheric, then only the rear door or the back door will be opened, because I have told you that in the rear portion you will be having an atmospheric pressure, and when you are going deep inside the tunnel you will be having some high pressure region. Okay, so when the pressure in the airlock, that is the space where the workers sit and the materials are being carried, all that portion is the airlock, and when the pressure in the airlock is atmospheric, then what happens is only that time the back door can be opened. And if you have to open the front door, then what has to be done? Then the working zone, the pressure in the working zone is to be made equal to the pressure in the airlock. Okay, when this happens, then only the front door of airlock can be opened. Now the door, we have to ensure that no leaking is there. So in order to make them leak proof, gaskets are being fixed, and this completely opening and closing is done hydraulically. Also, there is a bullseye for sighting on each door. I have told you, bulkhead is there, then you have airlock. In the airlock, you have two doors, one in the front portion, other in the back portion. And in order to see what is happening from the door, you are having a bullseye, that is in order to see, like a lens like thing. Then the change of pressure for opening or closing any of the doors should be gradual, otherwise sudden changes may prove to be fatal for human being. So as I have told you that there is a high difference in pressure, then this can cause problems. So the change in pressure while opening or closing the door, that should be gradual, or what will happen, this can prove very dangerous to the human beings. So by now you might have understood what is this compressed air method. This is the most modern method which is used for tunneling in soft ground, especially in the water bearing strata. Here timber support is not required. The support is being provided by a compressed air, and that is provided in the enclosed space so as to prevent the collapse of roof as well as sides of the tunnel. And here usually the air is used along with a shield and airtight lock. You know that already what shield is, a covering which is being given so that the soil and other particles does not fall. Then the air pressure adopted is approximately equal to 1 kilogram per centimeter square. And the air compressed tunnel boring machines are there. They are those tunnel boring machines where the compressed air is used so as to counteract the hydrostatic ground pressure exerted against the cutter head. Now the principle of compressed air tunnel boring machine is what? In compressed air, the closed shield, the rotating cutter head act as the means of excavation, whereas face support is ensured by compressed air at a sufficient level so as to balance the hydrostatic pressure of the ground. So now you know that compressed air is being given since the water may fall inside the tunnel or it may come inside the tunnel. A compressed air is being used for that purpose. But all other work, that is the cutting work, all those things, shielding, all that is similar like that of a shield method tunneling. Okay. So the face support is ensured by compressed air, and this will balance the hydrostatic pressure, which means the pressure which is coming from the soil. Now here the debris or the muck is extracted from the pressurized excavation chamber using a rotary hopper, and then it is conveyed to a primary mucking system. So as the cutting head moves inside the tunnel, cutting head will be there and that will be cutting the soil and will be driving inside. So debris will be there and that is being collected and it will be conveyed to the mucking system. That means this excavation and the collecting system will be there. So that excavated matter will be conveyed to the mucking system. Now if the pressure inside this chamber or inside the tunnel is more, then what happens is the working time required will be increasing. Okay, when the working time gets increased, then this will in turn causes an increase in the cost of labor as well as the overall construction cost will get increased. Now the problems which happens or the problems or challenges which occurs in maintaining the air pressure, compressed air pressure is to be maintained. Now what are the different problems which can happen? The different problems which can happen is, by this time we should have understood that the earth pressure will be different in different portions of the tunnel. Then moisture content will be there in the soil strata. So again the pressure value gets varied or changes can happen. Now since the compressed air will escape continuously through the pore of soil, then the balancing of air pressure inside the tunnel will get or will be becoming difficult. Now coming to tunnel boring machine. Tunnel boring machine is a machine which is used to excavate tunnel which are having a circular cross section through a variety of soil and rock strata. Okay, so this machine is basically used for excavating tunnels, for constructing tunnels, and they will be having a circular cross section. And this machine can be used in different kinds of soil as well as in rock strata. Now they can bore through anything from hard rock to sand. Then the tunnel diameter by which or the tunnel diameters can range from 1 meter to 20 meters. So this is how a tunnel boring machine will look like. You can see a cutting edge over here. This is the entire portion of a tunnel boring machine. These are the main parts of tunnel boring machine. You can see over here a conveyor belt. Conveyor belt means what? It will be a continuously moving surface, mainly for the transporting of the excavated soil. Then you can see segment. Segment means there are different sections inside the tunnel boring machine, and that will be named as segment. Then thrust ram is there. Thrust ram means what? This is basically for pushing or driving with force. Then cutting teeth will be there. So this is the cutting edge. When you are going inside the tunnel, what happens? These teeth will cut the soil. Excavation is being done by the cutting teeth. You can also see scraper over here. This is basically used for scraping. Okay, not to cut unwanted. Basically, when you are constructing, you want the soil to be taken away from there. So scrapping is there, or scraper is there, cutting teeth is there. So all these things are being collected. Then they are passed on to the conveyor belt. Working of the tunnel boring machine. So a tunnel boring machine basically consists of one or two shield. That is, large metal cylinders will be there. At the end of shield, a cutting wheel is attached. Now behind the cutting wheel, there will be what? A chamber. I have shown you the figure. A long lengthy portion is there. So behind the cutting wheel or cutting edge, you will be having a chamber. And there is a set of hydraulic jack which will move the TBM machine forward. Behind the shield, at the finished part of tunnel, several support mechanisms such as control room, rail for dirt removal, slurry pipelines, etc. can also be set. So basically, here, in order to make the tunneling process work, a compressed air method is used. Rest all the parts or other things are same as like that of the shield tunneling. Cutting edge will be there. That machine will move forward and it will excavate the soil. Then it is collected, muck is collected to the conveyor belt and it will be deposited somewhere. And like that, the machine will move forward, and like that the process will be continued. The cutting wheel usually rotates at a speed between 1 rpm to 10 rpm. Then the rotation speed, it is actually determined by the engineers. So there will be some factors on which this rotation speed is determined. It depends upon the geology as well as the diameter of tunnel. The mud formed while drilling is removed either by making it as a slurry and then through pipelines or by using a conveyor belt or rail system. So when you are excavating the soil, what happens? You will be getting the soil and this may cause hindrance to the work. So that soil is to be removed. So the soil which is being collected is either made as a form of slurry, and if it is made slurry, then it is to be taken. That is, slurry means water-like thing, liquid-like form it will be there. So then if it is in that form, it is carried through pipelines, or if directly soil or mud is taken, it can be taken by using a conveyor belt or rail system. Now the advantages of using the tunnel boring machine is, here the advance rate. The movement rate will be higher, continuous operation can be done, and when you are using this, less rock damage will be happening. Okay. When you are doing the blasting or drilling process, it can cause the surrounding soil to get damaged. But when you are using the drilling machine, tunnel boring machine, the rock damage will be lesser. And not only that, the support requirements which are required for this kind will be less. And the uniform muck characteristics, that is collecting that process, will be in a uniform manner. And since it is completely covered, shield is being provided, the workers will be having a safer environment, and this can be used for remote regions as well as completely it is an automated operation. Now disadvantages are also there for tunnel boring machine. The major disadvantage is the upfront cost. Upfront cost means what? It is the amount of money which will be paid before a particular piece of work or service is done or received. So that will be there. Then the tunnel boring machines are expensive to construct, and also it is difficulty is there to transport. And one more disadvantage what you can see is or say is tunnel boring machines move in a forward direction. It is not possible that it can move in backward direction. So this is all about the compressed air method as well as the tunnel boring machine.